As I'm getting older, chip upon my shoulder, rolling through life to roll over and die. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Missing hippie John, sad days are gone, remembering things just to tell them so long.
The other day I went to the thrift store and I spotted this oversized men's button-up shirt, and since I don't really have any white fabric, I decided to take this instead. As you can guess by the title of the video, I'm gonna be making a pleated skirt out of it. If you have any experience sewing pleated skirts, you know that it takes a lot of fabrics. But since I'm just gonna be making like a mini micro one, hopefully this is probably enough yardage to cover for the whole pleated skirt. So the game plan is that first I will cut this apart into different pieces. I'll probably cut off the sleeve and then the front and the back, and probably take off this collar. And I'm gonna trace the shapes onto this very fabric and cut it out and sew it all together. As simple as it sounds, it is gonna be a very tedious process, but we're gonna get through it.
No, not.
I look like I'm wearing a lab coat because of how huge and long this is. Like, this could be a dress. Like, just take a belt and cinch it around my waist and it'll just look like a dress, like a complete dress. It's like almost knee length.
Easy just a little sun, but built up on a single note. Oh, that nuts are bound to fall, but the road is still that more. Now the new one is the consequence of the one which...
So now that I dissected the button-up shirt into pieces, all I gotta do now is pattern make for the skirt. In order to pattern make, I can just maybe pattern make from scratch, but it takes too much time and effort to do that, so I might as well just trace off of my already existing skirt. If you're wondering why my camera looks like it's rotating, I'm not really using any like fancy tools to like motion track me or anything. I just place my phone on my ceiling fan to make it look cool. So I hope this shot turns out alright when I take my phone off the ceiling fan. Otherwise, all this effort is just gone to waste. So this is the skirt that I'm going to be using as a reference. I measured the length of the skirt and it is 11 inches in length, but I think I'm just going to add a few inches for the seam allowance so that it doesn't end up too short to the point that you're going to be flashing everyone in the streets when you're wearing the skirt. Now that I made the pattern for the top part of the skirt, I gotta calculate how much fabric I need for the pleats. Yes, we actually have to do math, which is probably the most painful task out of all the sewing and cutting out fabrics that we have to do. But don't worry, as someone who sucks at math, I'm gonna make this short and simple for you. Since I'm gonna be making a micro pleated skirt, I want the pleats to be about 1/2 inch, but you can make it thicker if you want it to be, but for mine, I want it to be skinny, so I'm just gonna make it 1/2 inch. All you really basically need is just 3 measurements, which is the hip circumference. For mine, it's 36 inches long. Second, you need the width of the pleats, which for mine is gonna be 1/2 inch. And third, you're gonna need to have the length of the pleats. Now that we got the measurements down, let's talk calculation. For the calculation, all you need to do is take the width of the pleats, which is 1/2 inch for mine. Calculation goes something like this for mine. So I multiply 1/2 inch by 3, which gave me 1.5, and I multiply...
Been through, as I'm bound to be the unavoidable consequence of you. There are so many people who can talk and talk and talk and just say nothing, will never know. I have you the polish girl I know, and at the end they can do nothing, will never nothing. So I come back to my first love as I must to.
So change of settings here. We're in the basement now, since that's where I have my sewing machine. I laid out all the pieces on the floor, and so far it doesn't really look like much and it doesn't look like a skirt, but trust the process, it's all gonna come together when we sew it and start pleating. So these two pieces are supposed to be the top part of the skirt and these are supposed to be the pleats. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna mark every half an inch and connect the line so I'll know how to fold it.
That one, but all the love I feel for you. Anyone who wants the whole, re mi fa sol la si do, he will find him.
Now that we laid down all the lines on the rectangle, we get to do this painstaking task where we have to fold and pin down every one of the pleats. You got, oh, why did it flash? Okay, I don't know why the flash turned on, but anyways, you guys, I did the pleats and look how much progress I got. I only got down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pleats and I'm already bored. And also, besides, I'm running out of pins. Well, I still have a lot more, but you know what? I just need an excuse to just sew this pleats. I just want to take this to the sewing machine and just sew it over. So I have an update on my pleats so far. It is not looking too good because I think my calculation was very off. Let me just show you what I mean. So this is how the pleats look like. As you can see, can we take a moment to appreciate the details and the time it took to just stitch all this? Oh yeah, by the way, it turns out I didn't have to pin all of it down. I just had to like fold it over on the sewing machine and just like top stitch it just like that. I mean, I was professional enough to do it without pins anyway. Not me acting like I'm a professional fashion designer or a seamstress when I messed up really badly with my calculation, because I was like earlier on in the video I was so confident in my calculation, like I was spitting numbers like I was Albert Einstein, and look at me now. Turns out I miscalculated the whole thing and I need to cut out another 40 inches of fabric. It is day 3 of making that pleated skirt and I am still working on the pleats. So I have decided yesterday that I'm going to try to use up every inch of that fabric from that button-up shirt. And I'm not going to try to use any other white fabrics that I have in my fabric stash over there because I feel like I'm cheating and I really want to stay true to the challenge that I set up for myself. What I did yesterday was that I squeezed out every inch of fabric out of that button-up shirt. There were like some excess left. I think this is about 20 and this is also 20. So in total, it's going to be 40. And I'm hoping that when I pleat it, it's going to be enough to cover both the front and the back. I am nervous right now filming this shot. I'm trying to film a top angle and look at how shaky it gets. It's so unstable. I'm like debating on whether this is a good decision or not. My phone is probably gonna fall down and hit my face, but we're just gonna give it a try. My sewing machine is gonna make it fall.
Anyone who wants the whole show, re mi fa sol la si do, he will find himself.
I have connected all the fabric and look at how long it is. Let me put it on 0.5 to show you. This is like at least 40 inches of fabric right here. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna do the same thing I did to this pleat. Guess what? I have finally finished pleating the pleats. I am overjoyed that I finally finished this because this was the most time-consuming part of the project. But I think I made it a little bit longer than it was supposed to because it overlaps over here. So I'm probably gonna have to cut off the excess part. Okay, you're gonna hate me for not keeping my word for it, and I was debating about this back and forth earlier on whether I should use extra fabric to finish the skirt or just stick with the challenge and only use the button-up shirt to make the whole skirt. But now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like only using one layer of fabric to make a skirt is not enough, since the fabric itself is really translucent when you wear it. And I know some people don't really wear shorts underneath their skirt. If you're that kind of person and you're just wearing the skirt by itself, you know, people are gonna see your underwear, and I don't want that to happen. So I think I'm just gonna use this fabric instead. And the problem with this one is that it has some floral pattern, so it's not like completely plain white. But you know what? It adds character to the skirt. Besides, I feel like a garment is much more professional looking when it's double-sided. So I'm just gonna probably cut out 3 of those pieces from this fabric. Finished cutting out all the pieces, so now I'm just gonna sew the sides. Now I'm just gonna flip this over and just sew these sides together. Now that I have a complicated geometric shape, it's time to install the zipper, except I don't have a zipper, but what I do have is some old jeans that I'm gonna use to upcycle it into a jacket. And I'm probably gonna make a video about it and upload it on YouTube. So if you do wanna see more of my cool sewing projects, subscribe and like, otherwise you're gonna miss out. Since I'm gonna be using this jeans to make a jacket, I probably don't need the zipper, so I'm just gonna seam rip this and just sew it onto this. It is 10 o'clock now, and this took forever to remove from this jeans. It mostly had to do with the fact that my seam ripper was really crappy, and look, it's bent at this point. It's just broken. It's kind of useless, so I think I'm just gonna throw this away. Well, was it worth the time and effort to remove this zipper from this jeans? I guess kind of worth it because it's a pretty good quality. It's made out of metal and it's pretty durable. I'm just gonna go ahead and attach the pleats to the top part of the skirt now. This is how the skirt is looking like right now. It doesn't look like much and doesn't look like a skirt until you wrap it around your waist. I'm gonna install the zipper now. And I'm kind of nervous to install the zipper because it's been a while ever since I've installed the zipper. So my zipper installing skill is kind of rusty, but let's hope for the best. I have finally finished sewing the skirt. I look like I'm wearing a tutu. Look at this. Right now, the pleats are looking funky and it's not supposed to flare out like this. It just looks, kind of looks cute this way. But it looks better when it's ironed down. So, I didn't zip it up yet. I'm surprised that it fits perfectly. Not too tight or too loose, it just fits perfectly on me. The only thing I'm really worried about is the fact that I used a pen to mark everything, as you can see. And I don't know if that's really gonna wash off or not. Now for one of the final steps is ironing this baby down. And I could probably do this tomorrow, but I'm too impatient to see how it looks like when it's ironed down, so I'm just gonna do it right now. Realistically speaking, I think I'm supposed to wash it before I iron it down, but you know what? We're just gonna bend the rules today. I'm gonna be a menace to the sewing community, be a rebel and break the rules. Mostly because I am too lazy to wash it right now. I am currently in the garage and I have my skirt over here. I just ironed it down yesterday night and it looks so crisp and nice. I tried it on. I love the fit. I'm satisfied with the fit and how it looks, but the thing is I felt like it was too plain for my liking, so I think I'm just gonna add some kind of design on it. And I'm thinking to spray paint it. And before you freak out, I'm not gonna like freehand it or put like graffiti on this skirt. I'm not gonna ruin my skirt like that. I actually made a stencil just right now. I just designed it myself. I drew a star and just cut out a star shape out of it. I'm planning to spray paint 2 stars on the front, like here. And then for the back, there's gonna be a saying that says, actually, is it backwards? I'm a star, actually. It's this way. I'm a star. If you get the reference, you get it. It's supposed to be a reference from this movie called Pearl. I've never watched the movie, but I really want to. I've only watched like short clips of it from YouTube Shorts where she shouts, "I'm a star."
Oh, I'm a star! Please, I'm a star!
When she got rejected during competition. And I thought that would be a cool design idea for this skirt. And when I'm spray painting, I'm probably gonna put a cardboard in between the skirt so the paint doesn't bleed through the fabric. I got my mask on. I'm actually gonna wear it too for double the protection. I look like a stalker right now. I look like I'm about to break into someone's house. Okay, moment of truth. Oh my gosh, it turned out alright. I mean, it did kind of bleed in some of the areas, but I really like the spray painting like feel of this design. Even though it's not exactly perfect, I love how it came out. Oh my gosh, that looks so sick. Gosh, it smells so strong even when I'm doubled up with the mask. Ta-da! Look at this. This is insane. It is mad.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed.
Right now. It's about to get serious. So that was a video of me making a pleated skirt out of an old men's shirt. So if you like the video, please hit subscribe and like the video and hit the notification bell and stuff like that. You know, it's like any other typical YouTube outro thing, but please like it because otherwise my mom is never gonna let me make any of those sewing videos ever again. So please do it. For me. I'm begging you. I want to keep sewing. And also subscribe.
It's a new position from the front. Ain't gonna be no ducking when your